Hey all, hope you all are doing good. Namaste. So today we are going to talk about APIs of UiPath. Okay, and you need not worry about anything. Just relax and simply search for this UiPath API. That's it. And the first thing you get is this API references. So this is a kind of documentation, and we can go through this. But apart from this, there is a ready-made thing that is available for us, which is API. UiPath, not UPI path. UiPath rock. Okay, so Postman UiPath. So here, every request that is possible is already created for us and provided to us, and this is the documentation which we'll be going through today for one request. But remaining thing we are going to use it and understand it as and when it is required. So if you have seen previous videos where we were trying to talk about queues. Oh, what happened? One second. UiPath Postman. Yeah, queues. So today we are going to explore about two APIs. One is how to get an authorization token, bearer token, and using that token how we can make use of all the other requests. Okay. So let's do this. What happened? Okay. Yeah, this seems to be a kind of a repository, but okay. UiPath automation. No, UiPath Postman API rock. Yep. So here, if I see, the first thing that we see is authentication. If I scroll down, I have three options. Okay. So the one thing that we are going to see today is how to get the API. We have the API access key. So let's try to understand what is the aim of today. So we have this orchestration. As part of that, we have a tenant and we have a queue and we have a trigger also. So all the intention that we are having today is pass some request and place it in the queue. So let's go to this and see the queue. Yeah, we have a queue called q1 which we have created in the previous video. If you have not seen, please go watch that and then continue with this. Okay, and as soon as we try to play something in this queue, we have already defined something called where is it? Yeah, demo project. There was something called triggers. Yes, so you can see in the automation we have triggers. So here, as part of trigger, if I click on edit, we can see that yeah, this was the trigger, and we have seen that as soon as we place request in q1, this is the process that has to be executed with. This is the laptop and this is the machine. Okay, so the only prerequisite would be that the machine that we have mentioned here should be connected. Otherwise we'll get an email saying that okay, in this duration there was a request for this, but the machine was not present, so it's an error. Okay, and if we have a try catch or exception handling in place, that's good. Otherwise we'll it's an error. Okay, so that message will be sent to our queue. So this is a queue, and with the API what we are going to do is we are going to get the authentication key is the first API. Second is we are going to place some payload in the q1. So that is what we are going to do in the complete demo, and if you are already aware of this, you can skip to the next video, but if not, you can see this. Okay, and we have huge number of APIs, right? And we cannot just learn all at once or explore all at once. If you want, you can explore, but what I will be doing is I will be naming this as part 1 of the API, and we are going to do multiple use cases, and as and when whichever API is required, like API for the assets or buckets or creating a folders, queues or anything, we'll explore at the same time. Okay, so as of today, this is the access key. So if I see, we need a client ID and a refresh token for a bearer based OAuth 2.0. Okay, so where can I find the client ID and user key? So if I go to this and go to admin, okay, it's loading, and yes, this is the tenant ID, right? So if I open this, I can see orchestration. Just hover on this, disable manage users and API access. So if I click on this, what all things I need? I need a client ID and refresh token. So let me see this. Here is my client ID and here is my what is the other thing required? Yeah, refresh token is nothing but user key. So where can I find? Let me zoom in a bit. I hope now it is visible. Yeah, I should done that previously, but yeah, this is the client ID. Let me zoom in a bit more. I hope now it's visible. So this is the client ID and user key what we need. So client ID we have and user key is this first one. I'll blur that out, or I can revoke and create one more. Okay, so that's up to me. So first thing first, if you have Postman you can just download this, or if not you can just copy paste the URL as and when required. Okay, so here is a Postman and this is the URL for getting the token, and it will change if you are going for the external or on premises, because I'm sticking to the cloud ones which is provided to us by default. So this is the URL in case of the default. Okay, so this is the URL for token only. Again the endpoint will change this, of course, you know. And what is my client ID? Let me paste that. This is my client ID, copied and pasted. Okay, and then my refresh token is a user key, which is the first one. And let me go here and put the refresh token. Let me clear how can I clear this? uh, I'm not sure, but okay, let's hit this again. So I'm going to get a new access token. So this is the access token that I need to use everywhere. So in general we can many of you are familiar with the Postman, that's why we can say okay, put it in the environment variables, use it for all the other APIs. Yes, we can do in that manner, but because many people are not familiar with the Postman and they might be using this API at different places, that's why I'm not using very much Postman specific features. So I'm going to copy this, and the next thing that I want is I can close this. Next thing I want is where queue items. So in the queue items I need to add a queue item, right? So this is going to be my API. So let me go to there. Where is my add queue item? So as part of this, first of all, go to headers, put authorization and pass the token. Okay, so token would be bearer and then our token value, enter. Okay, so header wise is clear, and body we can basically pass any request. The body that I have copied is directly what is given to me when I was downloading, so it's a default. So you can see item data and everything is a body of what API for adding item to the queue. So let me see, you can see item data and this is what I am passing. But basically the trigger that I have defined is simply saying that irrespective of what is the content or anything, as soon as the request is coming, just trigger the action or trigger the workflow. So in the upcoming demo, what we are going to do is our request or our workflow is will be dependent on this message or payload, but for now it's not. So it's a sample body, I kept it as it is. So first thing, cloud URL is the same URL which we have used for token. Let me just show this what are the variables. So if you are not able to understand this URL, what you can do is instead of cloud URL, put the cloud URL value. Instead of cloud org, put the cloud org, and instead of cloud tenant, put the cloud tenant value. So if I just click on this and edit, you can see these are the values of mine. Okay, so token I don't need it. My cloud URL is this one. Okay, the same thing that we use for token. And then the cloud org. How can you get the cloud org? Again, if I go there and I have an APIs to get org assets and everything, but to avoid all this I can simply go to my tenant, and in the orchestrator just I need to go to okay, I'm in my queues. Okay, now focus on the URL. So first thing is cloud UI path. Next that we see student something, right? Stud employee something, that will be my org. Okay, so the URL is basically the base URL, then the org, then tenant, and then whatever subcategories it is. So first is org. Now this is going to be my org. I'm going to copy this. Oh my bad. Yeah, copy this and go to Postman. And what was my cloud org? It was something like this. Okay, and then what is my cloud tenant? So let's go to URL again. You can see tenant point is my cloud. Again, I have an API to get all these things, but our focus as of now is to hit the queue API. So let's simply go here And what is my cloud tenant? Yeah, it's the same. Cloud URL is same, and save this. So basically I'm giving the value of this to cloud tenant, and I'm using the cloud tenant as a keyword in the URL. It's a postman feature. What you can do is simply place those values here, and our URL become the complete URL. So now what I'm going to do is, before hitting this, I just need to show you one thing, that if I click on view transaction, you can see there's nothing here, right? Now let's try to hit this. So as soon as I hit it, it means a request is placed on the queue. This will cause the trigger to trigger. So it will trigger the workflow, which is what we have configured in the trigger. So click on send, and I see some details. Oh, you are not authorized. Oh, what happened? Is there something wrong or something happened? No. Let's go here, and client ID refresh token is fine. If I go to header, yeah, this is something I need to correct it. So cloud tenant I updated later. Now the correct value is present, so we need to hit the send again. Basically provide everything. So this is the header, and this is the body we have seen. This is the header also we need to pass with the client, proper client tenant value. Now copy this, and no, copy this without double quotes, and copy it properly, of course. So from A to E, yes, copied. Add queue items, and in this I'm going to update my token value, because initially I did not provided the proper what I did not provide cloud tenant. Okay, now let's try to send. Hit it again. You're not it again. What is wrong here? So let's check. Yeah, UI. Oh, yeah, this value is again wrong. So here what I need to pass is folder or organization unit ID. Now from where I can get it? You can see folder ID, right? So if I open my Chrome, I can see something like FID here. Okay, now FID is folder ID, TID is tenant ID. So I'll copy this folder ID again. You can get everything from the APIs, but our focus is to hit the queue item. That's why I'm trying to get all the values from the URL. Okay, so here I need to update this. Let's verify before hitting if there is anything wrong here. Okay, so authorization, instead of using from here, I simply use it here. Okay, this value is corrected. If I go to body, yeah, this is default. So send, hit. Oh man, there's something wrong going on here. So cloud tenant, yes. Cloud org, yes. Is this correct? Okay, let me verify. So my this is org is MPLOYI, and here cloud is, yeah, current is different. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Edit. So this should be my current value. Here the current values are coming. So paste it here and paste it here, and now save it. I hope this is not confusing. Basically the current value I need to modify, but I modified the initial value. Yeah, put those values here and you will not get all these confusions, and send. Yes, so I can see a 201. So there's a one transaction should be created. If I refresh this, yes, okay, this is something, and I see something is triggered. So what is it? This is the action which is triggered by whom? It is triggered by the by a trigger basically. So d point, and okay, okay, and yes, this is done. If I now go to my automations and I want to see what all happened, so if I go to jobs, I would be seeing that you can see a few seconds ago this job was executed, but it was executed by what? It's not executed manually, it was executed by trigger. Let's hit one more request, send. So I placed a request in the queue, which caused the trigger to release an action, and here I see again a workflow is triggered on my machine. Okay, similarly I can have any workflow executed anywhere with this orchestration and APIs. Now because we are aware of these APIs, I can basically use any application and call this API and integrate. So this is just one method. Like this I might have thousand other methods. Okay, so that's all for today, and I hope you got the concept and what is happening here. how the trigger is working, how the queue is working in the small set of video. Okay, I mean small duration. Any queries you have while implementing or any errors that you come across, do try to check with the other comments, because I have seen that same kind of problems many people are asking. So just verify if it is already asked in the comments. If not, then you can comment. And best thing is, you can also comment on the UiPath forums, where it's just like a Stack Overflow but specific to UiPath. So you can just search through that, and anywhere if you are not finding, you can just mention in the comment section. Do follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I'll have all the links in the description, and in between ads also you must have seen above that. So do follow, and if you finally liked it, do subscribe and share. That's all for today. Happy implementation. Thank you.